There's some sick shit coming. Get ready.
It's gonna be a ride, huh?
Because I ain't got time to be telling you stories all day. I gotta go shoot my gun.
See, there's interdimensional beings, they vibrate.
I'm ready. This story, this is f***ed up.
Hi, I'm Fox Reinhardt, and today we're talking about the story of Joel Guy Jr. You don't like the coffee? I do my best. I come in here every morning. I'm trying to make up for what happened. Just drink the coffee, Johnson.
That's doo-doo, baby.
Let's go back to 2016.
Thanksgiving. Always a special time of year. Lots of people get together with their families, loved ones.
So there was a dad and a mom, Joel Guy Sr. and Lisa Guy.
Joel Guy Sr. was an engineer specializing in pipe design. Lisa was a human resources administrator at a local business.
Good salt of the earth people, hardworking, very friendly, like boating, like fishing, you know.
So after 31 years of marriage, well, they had a Thanksgiving to remember. Let me tell you. Captain Sprinkle told me to do the Joel Guy Jr. case and, what? Did I get it? Where is it? Oh, it's not what you think. It's not shit.
You see, Joel Guy and Lisa Guy had a number of kids. Joel Guy had 3 kids from a previous marriage, and Joel and Lisa had gotten married roughly 30 years ago. They had 1 kid together, Joel Michael Guy Jr.
And that one, whew, that's a bad seed if I've ever seen one.
This up little we'll get to it.
They were living in Knoxville, but they were planning on living too. Moving, not living, because they certainly weren't living after this weekend to Seguinsville.
Joel Guy had inherited a home from his recently deceased mother. How about we move into this house? And what if we can just retire early? What if we can live the American dream? Maybe we can do this. So they looked at all the details, all the money. They studied everything, down to every cigarette they smoked and every beer they drank.
Presumably, they had informed Junior a few weeks beforehand what they were going to do. And what they were going to do is retire, sell the place, and cut him off.
Well, you see, Joe Michael Jr. was studying to be a God knows what at LSU, Baton Rouge. Well, he'd been on Mom and Daddy's dime for a long time here. They had been paying for everything. He had never worked a day in his life.
He was a perpetual college goer, always changing his major, always crying to his mom, I'm doing this, I need money to do this, I want to eventually be this. You all know the person, the entitled person who thinks that they're so smart that the world owes them for just existing. The lights, there's a lens up there.
They were sick ass shit at taking care of this little fucker. He was 28 and he was a career student. We all know one. We know how they are.
On Thanksgiving 2016, they had a lovely family dinner. All the sisters. Joel Michael came to eat the turkey, the ham, the cornbread dressing, the green bean casserole. We all know. They sat down and had a lovely meal.
The girls all left and went back to their respective homes with their kids and all that, and Joel Guy Jr. stayed behind.
It's Thanksgiving night. He says, hey, Mommy, my tummy hurts. She says, don't worry about it. I've been taking care of you forever. You can stay the weekend. He's like, great, fantastic.
So this Thanksgiving ended in murder.
Well, come Monday, a co-worker of Lisa's called into the police and said, listen, Lisa's not showed up for work and I'm very worried. Lisa's a very responsible woman. She always shows up to work, and if she doesn't, she always calls and lets people know that she's not able to make it.
She's always there, always punctual. It was her last week of work. She was friends with everybody. There's no way that she would not have shown up and not called or let someone know or even answered the phone when someone tried to contact her.
They were having a get-together, as we call it in the South, in celebration of Lisa's retirement. They were going to have nachos, rotel dip, them little cocktail weenies. You always got to have the cocktail weenies. A vegetable tray that nobody eats, etc. Something's wrong. I feel like something's wrong.
Just like I always know something's up. This lady is perceptive to the things that are really going on in here. Do you hear that? Hear that high pitch? That's the mind control. You know how I get past the mind control? Tinfoil up your butt. Now it does sound crazy.
Well, the police showed up and they checked out the residence. They didn't notice anything really out of the ordinary. The cars were in the driveway, but they couldn't confirm that anything was wrong, so they left the residence.
Now while everything looked normal, I would have noticed the paranormal. You just want me to tell the story? Then what the fuck, what do you want me here for? Because you don't have to pay me?
Hours later, Lisa's coworker called back. She said, no one has heard from her. Her daughters, texting, calling her, no one has heard from them in days. You have to go back. So police knew they had to go inside that residence and verify Joel and Lisa Guy were truly safe. So police showed up back to the scene. They knocked on the door once again. No one answered. They could hear a dog barking off in the distance.
They just got an eerie feeling. You can feel death in the air. You can feel murder in the air. Something is not right. So the cops are walking around. They look inside the window.
There's groceries on the floor, in bags. A lot of these groceries were perishables, which means they don't keep. So the cops thought that was a little strange. Like, we're talking ice cream. Ice cream. I love a good Butterfinger ice cream. Oh my goodness. Shut up, Johnson.
So they go around back and they notice that there's not a door handle on the back door. So,
Whoa, there's no doorknob here. That's really weird. So they take a look through there.
He noticed there was an odd smell coming from that door hole, as well as a lot of heat. Way more heat than should have been coming out of that hole.
You know, that's kind of odd if people are living in a house and they ain't got no doorknob on the door, you know?
Like, all right, something's fishy.
and that's when they decided that they're gonna go in the fucking house, blazing with the nuts out.
Even fucking Sprinkle could have known something was up at this point. So they go back around, they're like, we don't have a way in and we don't have a warrant, what are we gonna do? And someone said, hey, why don't we check their cars? So they go and check the car. It's unlocked. You know what's inside of one of them? A garage door opener. Bingo. Woo! They press that son of a bitch. It goes open.
Hello, Sheriff's Office!
Guess what? They got away into the house.
So the cops are walking in, they notice that, and as soon as they walk in, they notice a strong chemical smell and notice that it is blazing hot inside of the residence.
And it had to have been 90 degrees in there. And they're just thinking, all right, it's almost wintertime in Tennessee, but this ain't right. This is way too hot.
They noticed towels, bleach, cleaner all over the floor. On the kitchen table, there was guns, knives, wallets, purses. What was going on? What the hell was going on?
Ooh, something's wrong. They see a pot boiling in the kitchen. Well, that's fucking weird. They go upstairs because, what the hell? A dog's barking?
As they stepped up the stairs, they noticed reddish brown stains on the wall and on the stairs.
One of the cops, grown-ass man, this grown-ass cop says, is that blood? Or is that boo-boo?
That blood or boo-boo?
And I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't boo-boo.
I'm from the South, okay? What's wrong with doo-doo and poo-poo, okay? I never heard of boo-boo. Why we gotta start another thing? And we don't need anything else. We don't need a third little kid shit saying, okay? Doo-doo, poo-poo will suffice.
So as they make their way up the stairs, they notice, once they get to the top, that there's a pile of women's clothes covered in blood. That's when they really realized that something heinous has gone on.
So they're walking through the house, clearing rooms, checking everything, you know, and one of them notices at the end of that hallway, at the top of those stairs, hands on the ground. One's fist, you know, curled into a fist. One's just limp, laying there.
Shit, it got real.
Oh my God, what the f is all this? There's f***ing blood everywhere. Whoa, shit, there's blood. So much blood. It was, oh God, I wish I could have been there. So they get around the corner and there's blood all over the f***ing walls and over the, my condolences.
Something has gone awry here.
And that's when they know for sure that this is a murder. So they look in the bathroom and they find 2 blue containers on the floor.
2 Rubbermaid tubs. You know the kind of tubs that you put your Christmas decorations in? You know, your Santa Clauses, and you put them in there and you store them for next time? That's the kind of jugs they saw. These weren't Santa Clauses, and these weren't manger arrangements.
And what's in these containers is gonna make you sick. It's the bodies of Joel Guy and Lisa Guy.
And Joel and Lisa Guy are floating. Their bodies are floating in. Sorry.
And they had been sitting in these containers just, you know, turning into this gooey substance.
They're cut up and they're. I'm sorry, doctor says I got GERD.
With, you know, covered in acids and all kinds of chemicals to let them just rot and become a liquid. Like a soupy consistency. In fact, what we were calling it here around the precinct is Campbell's cream of body soup. And if you like soup, this is not the soup for you. Or maybe it is. I see you out there, lizard people. I know what you like. We all know what you like.
Their legs were cut off and their arms were dismembered. I went to Afghanistan.
So the cops see this and they get the out of there. They say, I'm not doing this. So now that the forensics team are there, they walk into the kitchen and they notice that
On the stove, there's a pot boiling.
And you remember that pot on the stove? That wasn't no chili.
and just out of curiosity, they opened up the lid on that pot. And do you want to know what was in it? It wasn't boo-boo.
Mrs. Lisa Guy had been decapitated.
It was the head of Lisa Guy.
This is f***ed up.
And it had been sitting there for 2 days, cooking and turning into God knows what, because even the court cases did not tell you what it looked like or show pictures of it.
So investigators went in and processed the scene. And oh boy, what a shitstorm of evidence. Investigators also went over to Walmart, where the groceries that were on the floor were from. They checked the CCTV footage, and they saw Lisa there. Well, wouldn't you know it, just a few hours later, there's JJ. Joel Guy Jr. wasn't far behind her. And what's he buying? First aid? That's weird. There was even a little notebook. A secret notebook. Joel Guy Jr.'s room.
And it's basically a notebook that details the entire crime. You know whose notebook it was? Joel Guy Jr.'s. Time for the little bird to fly the coop. Stand on his own 2 feet, you know. Well, apparently, he didn't want to do that.
And he did what any rational career student would do. Plan their murder! Baby, let me tell you.
I can kill my parents. Nobody else can claim the insurance money because it's my mom and my dad. 500 grand. All mine. All mine.
So a few weeks before time, he started making purchases. He went to Walmart, made those plastic bin purchases. He went to Academy Sports, got himself a nice K-bar knife. The acid, the lye, hydrogen peroxide in large quantities. He knew what he was about to do. He was ready to do this thing, because ain't nobody gonna take his meal ticket.
Well, Joel Guy Jr., or as I like to call him, Fat Sheldon, thought he could get away with murder. He was wrong. On November 26th, just after lunchtime, and as his mom was buying groceries at Walmart, Joel Guy Jr. viciously attacked his father, Joel Guy, in the exercise room of their home, stabbing him 42 times. Joel Guy fought for his life. Evidence of torn blinds, a blood-soaked wall, and an overturned exercise machine painted a picture of the murderous struggle that occurred. Lisa Guy then came home shortly after, dropped her groceries on the floor, and went up to check on her husband and son. At the top of the stairs, Joel Guy Jr. viciously attacked his mother, stabbing her 31 times, severing 9 of her ribs.
Let me tell you something. Joel Guy Sr. didn't like it at all when his smokes went flying out of his pocket, so he decided to fight back. He said, "My smokes, you little shit!"
When he attacked his dad fought back, and he cut his hands all to hell.
He let his daddy cut them all up while he's chopping them down.
He was seen on camera buying bandages for his hands just 2 hours later, before he would dismember his parents. Their clothes were then cut from their bodies. He dismembered them and then put them in tubs of acidic fluid to melt their bodies.
Okay, it's time to set the plan into motion. It's time to do whatever he wrote in that notebook, which included flushing pieces down the toilet, using a sledgehammer. Have you ever heard of articulate dismemberment? It's when you cut. Following the notebook, he decided to start putting pieces into the plastic bins. What was in the bin was a mix of muriatic acids, sewer cleaner, and hydrogen peroxide. You know what all that does when it gets put together? It makes a smoothie of fast decomposition.
During the day Sunday, he left the scene, drove back to Baton Rouge to get more medical care from the LSU student clinic.
He had planned all of this out. It's premeditated. And he had written everything down. He wrote down what tools to get, where to get them, why to get them, what they do.
Everything he used in the murder was all there in black and white.
You gotta see this guy's notebook. So, okay, let me get started here. He wrote, get carving knives, get killing knives, quiet multiple to make small pieces. Get a sledgehammer, crush bones. Whoa. Bring blender and food grinder, grind meat. Get bleach, denature proteins. Get plastic bin for denaturation process. Does not matter where they're killed. Just get rid of bloody spots to prevent evidence of, and he underlined this, time of death. Not the mattress or couches. Get rid of bodies inside house. There and my DNA already there. He needs to be blamed.
Flush chunks down toilet, not garbage disposal. Get plastic sheeting for disposal process. Be seen buying bullets. Just use computer room gun. Check to make sure there are bullets. Last resort. He's not allowed to claim her half of the insurance money. All mine. $500,000. Flood the house. Covers up forensic evidence. Turn heater up as high as it goes. Speeds decomposition. Bleach reacts with luminol just like blood. Douse area with bleach. Big sprayer, lye, trash compactor. Body gets time of death alibi. Don't have to get rid of body, there's no forensic evidence on the body. His fingerprints and DNA.
So this is the most fucked up shit. And me, being who I am, I've seen some fucked up shit. I've seen aliens sticking things up people's butts. This is the most fucked up thing I could think of. This little bug-eyed motherfucker out here murdering people because of his small penis. I said it, he has to have a small penis. And if he doesn't, I want everybody to think he has a small penis. So Joel Guy was going to frame his father for killing his mother and himself so he could collect the insurance money, $500,000. He made his own manifesto. And he wrote it as if he was a genius about this, you know, do this because, you know, if you do get this to crush the bones, get this to cut the meat, get this to grind the meat, all kinds of stuff. He might as well have just put his fucking picture on it and posted it on Facebook. I mean, honestly, that's what he did. He left all of his stuff there. He tried to call himself from his mom's cell phone and left it on the counter.
And I took the lock off the front that had the agent's lock on it, and on the back door, I moved it to the front door. No one's ever gonna notice that the back door doesn't even have a doorknob. I'm so smart.
Left all of the receipts out. Like, I don't know what he was planning. He was hoping that they would all get burnt up. Whatever he was doing, it was wrong.
He had no idea he was already being surveyed. That very day, he thought he was gonna take care of his wounds, drive up there the next day, take care of business. This guy was fucked, because he's an amateur.
And eventually, they take him down. They arrest him. Because they got enough evidence. I mean, his name is on everything.
If he hadn't anticipated being visited by the Popo so quickly, he would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for those meddling human resources people at her job.
So Joel Guy was charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of abuse of a corpse. If for some reason ever in your life you were charged with abuse of a corpse, go fuck yourself.
You see, Joel Guy did a lot of things right. He paid cash for all the supplies he needed. He used self-checkout, but CCTV never lies. It always sees the truth.
This footage right here, so you never know when you're gonna be part of some sort of piece of history. Check out this guy right here on this footage, zooming by. You never know when you're zooming by a f***ing maniac killer.
Joel Guy didn't cover his tracks as well as he thought he did. Some people amaze me with what they're willing to do, how far they're willing to go. Because I just can't believe anyone could ever do something like that to their own loving parents who were taking care of him his whole life.
You think about, oh yeah, he killed his mom, that's fucked up, that's pretty fucked up. Do you remember when I said that there was a pile of ladies' clothes? This sick motherfucker is, he kills his mom and then starts pulling off her fucking panties and shit. This motherfucker's staring her right in the notorious VAG and getting her fucking butt naked. So is his dad. He's looking at his dad's junks, like moving around, he's cutting up the leg, balls jiggling, all this stuff. See, that's the sickest part. That's the worst fucking part to me. You cut someone up, but you're like looking straight down Beavertown on your mom. That was disgusting to me. I hated that. It was sick, made me fucking vomit.
This was an open and shut case. The court was easy. There was so much evidence incriminating Joel Guy Jr.
He pleads, get this, not guilty.
There was one caveat though, you see. He wished if he were to be found guilty, he would be sentenced to death. What a pussy.
Can you imagine his attorney when they said, hey, he's pleading not guilty?
Winning a case today, baby. Winning a case today. My wife's not going to leave me after all. Joe Guy Jr. stabbed his father 42 times. Grain meat, money all mine, $500,000. Not guilty.
What am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do? I fucking get all the shitty cases.
So, court case went on for a week or so. If you watch the court case, the attorney during opening statements talks for like 30 minutes saying every single thing he's being charged for. Allegedly, here's what he did. The only thing that his attorney could say was that in America, we have one of the greatest legal systems in the world, and we should really listen to people's stories. Thank you. It was literally 2 minutes because this guy knew it. 2 minutes, really.
Ultimately, the defense had a little bitch case, and they were going nowhere. The defense lawyer said he's innocent because he didn't flee. He didn't hide. He just went home. Well, let me ask you a question. Is he supposed to take a vacation? When did a murder moon become a thing, okay?
Honestly, if you want my legitimate theory about this, I think he did it and realized he was in way over his goofy fucking head. He panicked and was just hoping it would catch on fire, the house would catch on fire, and he left and went back to Baton Rouge, which means red stick. Bet you didn't know that. You're still thinking about it. Oh, Baton Rouge, Rouge Baton, red stick. Still thinking about it. If it needed to be any more obvious, when they found him, he had a meat grinder and a gasoline tank in his truck.
The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours.
And the verdict came back unanimously.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Joel Michael Guy, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder of Joel Guy Sr. We, the jury, find the defendant, Joel Michael Guy, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder of Lisa Guy.
Guilty as hell.
The judge in the court case even said, I don't think that you're as smart as you think you are.
What ultimately led to Joel Guy Jr.'s downfall, his demise, if you will, was the lack of planning on his mom's job.
One thing that he wanted, if he was given the guilty verdict, was he wanted the death penalty. And guess what? A silver lining to the story for Mr. Guy. He didn't get it.
He got 2 consecutive life sentences, one for each parent, and an extra 4 years for abuse of a corpse.
And the judge said, that's not enough for you. If you'd been given 300 years, I don't think that would have done anything to help you.
He has been taken down and taken in.
That's justice. So he's in prison right now. Someone's diggling his balls. Somebody's doing something to his butt. It's kind of one of the times where you want to just go ahead and give him the death penalty, but you also want him to suffer in prison. So I'm gonna let you decide. Do you think they should have given him the death penalty, or do you think that life in prison was an appropriate sentencing for him? Leave a comment below, let us know.
You see, the ironic part is Joel Guy Jr. did all of this to be financially free and to be taken care of. That's exactly what he got.
Unfortunately, he didn't leave any semen. I hate it when they don't leave semen. And no number 2. Shucks. It's just the classic old DNA. How boring!
If I had gotten my hands on that son of a bitch, I'm sorry, Miss Lisa. I don't mean to disparage you like that, but damn it, Johnson, shut up. I'm trying to do the thing here. This has been Making a Murder Show. I'm Captain Frank Sprinkle. Thanks for joining us.
Visit Patreon for more tips on how to avoid the cops when you murder your parents.
My name's Detective Richard Cox. Join us next week for more sicky wicky, fucky wucky shit. 8 kids. 8 kids. We done here? I gotta go hunting now. I don't know.
My name is My name is Foxstein. So my name's Fox Reinhard. If there's just one thing that you need to take away from this case, if you kill your mom, Get her naked. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Check out our Patreon. A lot of good stuff over there. We have videos weekly, and you can also check out our live streams where we get buck naked. How's the house coming? We're about to close, right? I haven't heard anything back from you. Oh, murdered? In the house? Oh, the head was in a pot on the stove? The house we're buying. I think we're gonna go with something else. I know we put in a lot of paperwork and stuff, but I think we're gonna have to pass on it this time. I think we would actually feel a little more comfortable staying on something maybe on top of an Indian burial ground or maybe an old prison or something, yeah. Graveyard would be great, yes.
How about beat his ass? With it.
It's stupid. He should have just been watching some of these murder shows that they do on YouTube and stuff where they go through the whole process so you can see what they did wrong. Speaking of, check out our Patreon. Make sure you don't get caught like Joel Guy did, dude.
Well, Captain Sprinkle told me to get up here on the double, so here I am. So what is it? I was not having sex with anything down in the morgue, I swear to God.